So we've learned that we can use our breathing to slow down our stress response and calm our mind. And I really encourage you to practice that every time you get the chance, because it will eventually become your natural response to something stressful. So what else can we do to take control of what's going on in our minds so that we can become less stressed and as a result, become happier? We all have what I call our inner voice. Everyone has it. And we've always had it. And that's actually half the problem. Because we've always had it and we've never been coached on how to control it, it has literally been running amok in our heads for our entire lives. Another name for this internal voice is our inner critic. Now, I want you to make a comparison for a second. Think about when your best friend came to you and told you that they'd made a mistake or said or done something stupid. What most of us would do would go straight to an empathetic mode and say something like, oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. It wasn't that bad. Or you'll do better next time. Now, I want you to remember when you made a mistake or you said something or did something that was less than perfect. I'm not a gambling man, but I bet it went something like, you idiot, you're useless. You'll never be able to do this. You'll never be good enough. Do you recognize that voice? Can you imagine how many friends you would have if, when they came to you with a problem, you responded in the way that you respond with your inner critic? My guess is about 0. I want you to pay attention to your inner voice. So when you hear it judging you in a certain situation, just stop, think for a second and say, would I say that to my best friend? And if you wouldn't, then I want you to reframe it and say it in such a way that you would say to your best friend. You can even say it out loud if you want to. Then practice it every time that you become aware of any negative thought or criticism that you make of yourself. Our modern brains are where our empathy, our curiosity, our imagination live. But in our ancient brains, where our inner critic lives, is where we have our negativity, where we are risk averse, where we're lazy. This is not your fault. We are literally wired this way. That's what you need to understand. And you also need to be patient with yourself. Patience and kindness to yourself is the lesson of the day and every day, to be honest. Your inner critic lives in your ancient brain. He or she has been practicing all day, every day for your entire life. So it's no wonder that he or she's really good at what she does or he does. Okay? But today's the day that we start to fight back. So let's look at your new inner best friend. Your new inner best friend is like you the first time you ever walked into a classroom or a new job. Remember that feeling. Imagine your first day at the gym. You turn up there, you're feeling inadequate, insecure. You don't know where any of the equipment is. You don't know how anything works. And in this scenario, in the center of the gym, pumping iron is your inner critic. He or she owns this gym. And they're looking across at you going, look at this weakling. So I want you to use that scenario, right? Because that is literally where we are in this situation. I want you to think about that. I want you to feel it, imagine it. You standing there, quaking in your boots. Okay, good. Let's feel it. And let's move on from there. Now I've got 2 pieces of good news. Piece number 1 is it literally all in your head. So it's not real, not really real. It feels it, but I promise you it's not. The second piece of good news I have for you is every tiny baby step you make forward for your new inner best friend builds energy, builds confidence, builds resilience. Every little bit of energy that your new friend gets, they take it from your inner critic. And the analogy I want you to think about is an hourglass. All of the sand's in one side of the hourglass at the beginning. That's your inner critic, super strong, super confident. And yours is the empty glass. But grain of sand by grain of sand, it flows through slowly but surely. And it takes time, but eventually the new friend's glass will be full and the inner critic's glass will be empty, providing you keep taking baby steps, one step forward, and you'll be amazed how quickly you can change that balance. Listen to yourself, check yourself. If you hear yourself criticizing yourself, stop and reframe it to what you would say to your actual best friend. You're useless becomes, okay, it didn't work. I'll try harder next time, or I'll try something different next time. You'll never make it becomes, I'll give it a go. I'll see what happens. Maybe I'll learn something. Now, as I said before, of all of the tips and tricks that I have, this is the one single thing that changed my life forever. And that was learning to be kind to myself. It doesn't allow me to make mistakes, but it allows me not to judge myself. Then slowly but surely, you will get better at it. If you learn to be kind to yourself, your inner critic can become your new inner best friend.